Welcome to the Butterfly Effect. I'm Chris Horner. This is stage 18 of the Vuelta España 2023, 180 kilometers and 5 categorized climbs on today's stage. It's going to be a stage that we know Remco Evenepoel is interested in because he wants to secure the KOM polka dot jersey here at the Vuelta España. And I want to take you guys back to yesterday's stage because I gave you guys a 29-minute rant about Jumbo Visma, Jonas Vingegaard, Primoz Roglic, how badly they were treating this race leader's red jersey of Sepp Kuss. Well, if you caught the little glimpse at the very end of my video, you know that I have Tadej Pogačar move back into the #1 spot on the Butterfly Effect if you caught that picture at the end. We only left it up for about 5 or 10 seconds, so maybe you caught it, maybe you didn't. But the reason I made him the #1 rider on the Butterfly Effect, and I'll tell you guys before the Vuelta España started, Jonas Vingegaard didn't have to do anything in this Vuelta España. He didn't have to win it. He didn't have to ride good. He could have did one stage and dropped out. He still would have been #1. The only thing he could have done to knock him out of the #1 spot was ride negatively against his teammate Sepp Kuss, his super domestique, who's delivered for 5-6 seasons of results here at Jumbo Visma. And so I knocked him out of the #1 spot and I put Tadej Pogačar #1. Then when I wake up this morning and I'm looking at the race results, well, it just reassures me that I made the right decision because at Coppa Sabatini, that is where Pogačar ended up getting 3rd on the stage, and he's sitting behind his teammate that's up the road with Sivakov from Ineos, as they got about a 30-second gap going into the last lap there of that semi-classic up in Italy. Look at Pogačar. He's sitting on the back of the wheel there of Alexei Lusenko and Guillaume Martin, not taking a pull at all, and they're 35 seconds within catching his teammate Mark Hirschi up the road and Sivakov. But what does Pogačar do? Guys, he doesn't need this win. He sits back, he lets his teammate Mark Hirschi go to the line with Sivakov, who ends up winning the sprint and wins the day. It's not a gift, it's payback. It's a debt owed, and Pogačar knows that at these races, you give this away. Okay, when we go here to Vuelta España, sure, I understand it's a Grand Tour, but there has been a lot of Grand Tours won, and when you look at the chemistry within Jumbo Visma, I can tell you it had to be ugly after yesterday's Angliru stage. There is no doubt about that. When I've seen chemistry go this bad in the races where riders are attacking each other, things are going to be bad in the bus and a whole lot worse than what we're seeing on the cameras. There's no doubt about that. Well, now let's get into today's stage because I explained to you exactly why I have Tadej Pogačar #1 ranked rider on the Butterfly Effect, and Jonas Vingegaard goes back down to #2 on the Butterfly Effect because of the selfish riding that we've seen all the way through the last 3 mountain stages. And then now we're going into this last mountain summit finish here at the Vuelta España on stage 18. Well, when the racing starts, it's full gas, and we know it's going to be this way at first because everybody wants to get in the break, but it only takes about 10 kilometers, and we see a break just under 15 riders go up the road, and Remco Evenepoel's in this group. Now, let's go back and look at the peloton. We see at the front of the peloton, Ineos is at the front, Quick-Step is shutting stuff down up there, Lotto Destiny's at the front. All these teams that have riders in this group of 14 up front, all their teammates are sitting up in the back there covering the road, and guys are tired. Once you get this late into a Grand Tour, the other riders are tired, and they know tomorrow should be a sprint stage. Should be a sprint stage. If there's some crazy wind or something I can't predict, it might not be, because when you look at Alpecin de Koenig, their team is missing a ton of riders here at late into the Vuelta España on stage 18. So tomorrow on stage 19, they're going to need some help controlling the peloton when we're making it a field sprint on tomorrow's stage. So it's not a given. But let's stay focused on today's race because, like I said, there's 5 climbs, 14 riders going up the road. The peloton's going curb to curb back there, so they're starting to gain time right away on the peloton. That's going to be led by Jumbo Visma. We see Hessink and Dylan van Barle at the front. And when we start getting into the first climbs, Remco Evenepoel's clearly doing some work on the front to get this break up the road. He'll take maximum points on the first KOM. He'll take maximum points on the second KOM. And once we start getting into the third climb of today's stage, that's when we start seeing riders with about 60 kilometers to go. They start dropping out the back. Once we get near the top of the third KOM, we see Piccolo from EF Education, Julien Bernard from Liddell Treks coming out the back, and we'll see Egan Bernal pass those guys and close up onto the back end of what's going to be 6 riders in the front group of the breakaway guys up here, with Remco Evenepoel doing most of the pulling going up the climbs. Now, he had some help through the valleys, there's no doubt about that. The breakaway group seemed to be working pretty good with them. And then on the climbs, Remco was doing some steady pace. And clearly, with 60 kilometers to go, he was setting the pace hard to go over the top of this third category climb. And that's why you saw the group get reduced down to about 6 riders. Now, they'll drop down the backside. We'll see Julien Bernard and Piccolo from EF Education come back on to make about 8 riders in this front group. Now, what amazed me is I saw Piccolo ride in the front win this break. At this point in time, EF Education's Piccolo, I don't think there's any reason you want to be on the front when you just got dropped on the third climb here on today's stage 18 of the Vuelta España, when you still got 2 more Category 1 climbs coming up. Now, the fourth climb is 8.5 kilometers, just under, but 8.5% in average, and it's going to summit, and they're going to do it twice. So they'll hit it with just under 35 kilometers with a group there of about 8 riders. And when they come into this climb, look at the front. That's Andreas Kron there from Lotto Destiny. Remember, he won stage 2 here at the Vuelta España a long time ago? Well, he's got himself a stage victory, and he's attacking at the steepest part of this climb. I'm sitting there on the Chesterfield thinking, man, Kron, this is a bad time to attack. You guys had a 10-minute gap for a long time. You should have been attacking Remco Evenepoel through the flat valley sections where he can't cover 10 guys, whatever the number was, as it was growing and shrinking and getting large again throughout this stage. But now on the steepest part of the climb, with 33 kilometers to go on a Category 1 climb, Andreas Kron is throwing in an acceleration, and we see Egan Bernal, Piccoli, and of course Julien Bernard from Liddell Trek coming out the back. We're going to see the Total Energy rider coming out the back too, as we see Paul Orsolin getting dropped. Now that's 4 guys going out the back. Egan Bernal was suffering big time, and Andreas Kron is the one that's setting the pace at the front, at least for a little while, because Remco Evenepoel is going to take over. Then he's going to send Kron straight out the back. Remco Evenepoel is going to stay on the front. He's going to keep accelerating. Next rider coming out the back, Bahrain victorious. That's Caruso coming out the back, second at the Giro d'Italia a few years back. He's getting dropped. And then we see Max Pulli, the young kid from DSM. He's holding on to Remco Evenepoel's back wheel, hoping to survive this Category 1 climb with Remco Evenepoel flying on the pedals. Then Max Pulli gets dropped, and that's it. Remco Evenepoel solo. He started today's stage with 13 companions that never once attacked him, unless, of course, you want to count Andreas Kron's attack at the beginning of this climb, which just seemed ridiculous. But now Remco Evenepoel's going solo. Now, the peloton behind, let's take you back to about 30 kilometers to go before they started this climb proper. So it's 30 kilometers plus 10 minutes, and now they're starting to get nervous, and you see them going curb to curb. Of course, we see Bahrain victorious in the picture. Remember how aggressive they were on yesterday's Angliru stage. They're motivated to start this Category 1 climb at the front and start doing some damage. Jumbo Visma's at the front, and we know right now all the GC teams are starting to battle because they're curb to curb. Once they come into this climb proper, the last and final climb here of the Vuelta España that has a summit stage, this one they're going to do twice. So it's not the last time up, but the second to last time, the penultimate climb. And we see Jumbo Visma's at the front, but only for a short time, because now we're going to see Bahrain victorious MO here on stage 18 of the Vuelta. They get on the front and they start driving it. That on the front, Tiberi, he's doing full gas. He's got his race leader, Landa, sitting second, and Sepp Kuss in the race leader's red jersey sitting third. Now, let me back the film up just a little bit to one of the interviews from Sepp Kuss. Before the stage, when I woke up, he was giving interviews that I saw where he's talking about he needs to assert himself a little bit more within the team. So when he's got this race lead, he takes a little more affirmative action. And his interview during the race is talking about how it sounds like his whole team is going to be behind him. Sounds like to me, Primoz Roglic and Jonas Vingegaard are going to ride for Sepp Kuss on today's race, but this is the first passage up the last Category 1 climb here, and so we don't see them just yet on the front. We see Bahrain victorious going full gas, And we see Landa starts getting some help as Wout pulls and Santiago Buitrago move to the front. That's 4 Bahrain Victorious on the front. If you remember right, yesterday they had 5, but Damiano Caruso had just got dropped from Remco Evenepoel, so he's up the road. That's why we see 4 Bahrain Victorious on the front. They're going full gas. The peloton is blowing up behind. Everybody's getting dropped off the back. They're down to just under 25 riders, and we see Attila Valters hanging at the back of the group there. And up front, when we see Sepp Kuss, Primoz Roglic, and Jonas Vingegaard, they got one teammate. That's Jan Tratnik. It always blows my mind away how Jumbo-Visma always seem to have one domestique still left at crucial moments in the race. And that one domestique throughout this year's Vuelta a España, whether if it's been Jan Tratnik, whether if it's been Attila Valters, whether if it's been Wilco Kelderman, one of them always seem to be up there, but Valters is hanging on the back of the group and he'll drop soon. Now, we see just as we near the top, Remco Evenepoel is going to take maximum points just like as he has throughout this final mountain summit stage here at the Vuelta a España. Now we're on the 4th category climb at the summit. Remco Evenepoel is going over the top with about a minute and 20 gap on Max Pooley behind from DSM. He's dropping down the technical twisty descent, doing a fine job here on today's descent versus yesterday's stage where he was taking it easy. Today he's hanging it out a little bit more because he wants to win today's stage and he's going solo. He comes off the bottom, the final little chicane, hard little right-left as he jumps his bike over the little ditch just in front of him. Now he's on the flat roads. He's going full gas. We look behind. Max Pooley's reached that same section and gained about 10 seconds on Remco Evenepoel, but Remco Evenepoel's lead is still at about a minute and 10 seconds. Now we see the car pull up next to Remco Evenepoel. They're going to hand the Belgian rider a gel for pseudo quick-step. He's going to down it. Now he's going into aerodynamic position, and we all know the time trial and abilities of the current individual time trial world champion of Remco Evenepoel going full gas. Max Pooley's losing time to Remco Evenepoel. We look at the peloton. They're just getting near the summit of the last penultimate climb here on stage 18. Look at the beautiful scenery there in the background as we see the peloton's about 20 riders strong with Bahrain Victorious still on the front. Once they get up to the final part of the finish line here and pass it for the first time here on stage 18, we see it's Jan Tratnik taking over for Sepp Kuss, Jonas Vingegaard, and Primoz Roglic to lead the twisty descent so that Jumbo-Visma are in fine position and in a safe spot without anybody in front of them that can crash them unless, of course, it's their teammate. Now they drop down the descent, but they're still 10 minutes thereabouts behind the race lead of Remco Evenepoel as they're coming through the valley. Up front, Remco Evenepoel, he's going full gas through the valley, and he's going to start the final and last climb up here for the second time on stage 18. When he does, he sits up, takes his glasses, and inserts them into his helmet so he can get more air on the face, and then he goes to work here on stage 18. He's soloing up the last climb, not losing much time to anybody back there in the peloton and going full gas. Max Pooley, who through that last valley got caught from Damiano Caruso. Now they got 2 guys chasing one, but they've lost a ton of time because the gap went from 1 minute 10 seconds at the beginning of the valley. Now it's 1 minute 40 at this last and final climb. Up front, Remco Evenepoel's going full gas. He's got a fan dousing a little bit of water on him, trying to cool him down in case he's going too hot here on the final mountain summit stage of the Vuelta, and nothing is slowing down the Belgian rider up front. Behind what's happening in the GC group of favorites. Will Primoz Roglic and Jonas Vingegaard work for Sepp Kuss like it seems like he's saying in his interviews? I don't know yet, but I know Bahrain Victorious, they're going full gas, and along with UAE Team Emirates through the valley, because Bora Hansgrohe's Nico Dens, who got caught from that group of 14 back in the peloton, he threw in an attack and he's got Vlasov on his wheel. With Vlasov sitting second wheel behind his teammate Nico Dens, they're trying to get a gap on the GC favorites so they can start this last and final climb here with a little bit of gap on all the big time climbers behind. UAE Team Emirates, like I said, they got on the front and started pulling it back, and once they get in the climb proper, now it's time for Bahrain Victorious to get on the front. They pull back Vlasov, who tried to go up the road, but he got caught early into this final climb with Bahrain Victorious pulling full gas. Wout Poels is on the front again. He's doing a solid job. He's blowing up the group. We start seeing Vlasov go out the back. His teammate Kian Ulterbrooks is getting dropped just about the exact same time with Santiago Buitrago. Now Wout Poels, he's blowing it up, but he's still got Moss in there. Ayuso's still there. Of course, the 3 Jumbo-Visma riders of Sepp Kuss, Jonas Vingegaard, Primoz Roglic, they're locked in there, and Landa's sitting second. Now, as Wout Poels pulls off, Mikel Landa's going to throw in a huge attack. This is with about 3-4 kilometers to go in the stage, because up front, remember, Remco Evenepoel's going solo with still a 10-minute gap. As Remco Evenepoel's going solo, he's going to come into the finish. He's going to tap his helmet a little bit there to say something. Then he's going to give the heart or the O of his wife as he's dedicating the stage to her as he crosses the line and wins today's victory here on stage 18 for Soudal Quickstep, and round out his third stage victory here at the Vuelta a España, along with securing the KOM jersey at the end of today's stage. Now let's go further back down the mountain, because the battle is starting to brew back there, and I told you, Landis threw an attack, Ayuso was covering it, and now Jonas Vingegaard is riding on the front for the American Sepp Kuss in the race leader's red jersey. Now we know for sure everybody is all in for Sepp Kuss, so if he can stay with this elite group of GC favorites here on stage 18, he can win the Vuelta a España when it's all said and done, because this is the last summit stage here. So unless there's a crisis later, it looks like Sepp Kuss has all his teammates wrapped around him at this moment, and it looks like he could secure the jersey if he can hold on. Jonas Vingegaard's driving it on the front. Ayuso and Landa got a little bit of a gap, but Jonas Vingegaard's just setting a steady tempo and will bring everything back into the foe. Now, as we got everybody there, all the GC favorites, the 3 Jumbo-Visma riders, Enric Mas at the back, Ayuso's there, Landa's there. Landa's looking back for some help, and Wout Poels, who got dropped off the back there from the attack of Landa, he's going to fight to come back up. We see Landa second from the back of this group of 6 or 7 riders. Wout Poels is going to give a look to Landa, and then he's going to go to the front and start trying to pull again. But Jonas Vingegaard is going to take over and set tempo. We're going to see another attack from Landa as he throws in his next attack. Ayuso's right there, and Jonas Vingegaard is still setting tempo for Sepp Kuss. They'll get brought right back in, and then with 1 kilometer to go, Ayuso, UAE Team Emirates, throws in attack. Once he throws in attack, Sepp Kuss is right there. Primoz Roglic is following it. Then we see Sepp Kuss come to the front of the group here of GC favorites. Now look back as we see Jonas Vingegaard get on the radio. He's saying, "Shut it down, Sepp. I'm coming back up to the front." Sepp Kuss backs off while he's in the race leader's red jersey. Jonas Vingegaard goes back to the front to 500 meters to go, and then Ayuso throws in another attack at 500 meters to go. We see Sepp Kuss, the American, in the race leader's red jersey. He's following these attacks directly. About 200, 250 meters to go. Mas throws in attack. Once Mas throws in attack, we see Sepp Kuss there, Ayuso's there, Primoz Roglic is there, and Jonas is sitting up. Jonas is going to back off the throttle. Landa's going to lose a little bit of time, because up front, Ayuso's going to pass Mas and take the guys to the line. With Ayuso crossing the line, Mas is right on his wheel. Sepp Kuss is there, Primoz Roglic is there, and look, Jonas Vingegaard gave time back to Sepp Kuss here in the race leader's red jersey on stage 18. This was a great tactic here from Jonas Vingegaard to say, hey, the battle for the general classification in the race leader's jersey within the Jumbo-Visma camp has ended here on stage 18 of the Vuelta a España. We're all in 100% for Sepp Kuss to win the Vuelta. When it's all said and done, sure, Remco Evenepoel's up on the podium winning another stage here, victory in the Vuelta a España, but I gotta believe the biggest thing to take out of today's stage 18, the American rider Sepp Kuss is going to win this year's Vuelta a España in 2023. Congratulations, Sepp Kuss. Keep the bike upright, stay up front, stay focused. You got a couple more stages. But if everything goes to what I'm watching here on stage 18, you got 100% Jonas Vingegaard riding for you, Primoz Roglic is riding for you, and you know the other host of riders, Dylan Van Barle, Guessing, they're going to ride 100% for you. Attila Valters, he's going to do his job. Jan Tratnik, there's absolutely no doubt about that. And Wilco Kelderman is not going to leave Sepp Kuss here out to hang and dry here with the final stages of the Vuelta a España coming. That means that the press and the energy that they received yesterday, the negative energy that is, has made the team realize that you cannot drop a super domestique like Sepp Kuss that has put this much time and energy into the team Jumbo-Visma, and then when he gets his chance to win a Grand Tour, try to take it away from him and attack him left and right. That silliness seems like it's over here, and that's the big takeaway after today's stage 18 up here on the Butterfly Effect. But we still got some more good stages to come, because it should be a field sprint tomorrow. But how are the sprinter teams going to do it? They're going to have to work together, because like I said at the beginning of this video, Alpecin de Koenig are hurting in numbers. They're going to need some help to be able to control tomorrow's stage 19 in the Vuelta a España. And then stage 20 is the next dangerous stage here for Sepp Kuss. But we all know the strength of Jumbo-Visma, so it shouldn't be that dangerous. And we should see the American rider coming into Madrid wearing the race leader's red jersey. Guys, like and subscribe. This was a magnificent moment here for Sepp Kuss, the American rider in the red race leader's jersey here at the Vuelta España. Congratulations, Sepp. I love to see you winning here in 2023 at the Vuelta España. See you guys for tomorrow's stage 19 of the Vuelta España. Make sure you like and subscribe, and I'll see you then.